Now, there you go.
Hey, hey.
Man, every time I do that, like it takes me like 10 minutes to get people on here. So what's up, man?
What's the word, man? It's your
Oh,
boy T.H.A, the Hassan Assassin, man. Appreciate you hitting me up on the live, man. What's going on, Mack?
yeah, for sure. Nothing much, man. So I was checking out your YouTube, you know.
Hell yeah.
You said you're an actor as well?
Yes, sir. I be doing acting as well and, content creating. I be making skits from time to time and I be acting. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, your
Actually,
music's cool, man. You make that live shit, like you make like like that newer like club type stuff, man. Like the
oh,
newer
yeah, appreciate that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the new age. I wouldn't say really club music but it was like it's like newer age. You're lyrical, man. Like I thought you were talented for sure.
Oh man, I appreciate
Um,
that, bro. For real, man. I'm glad you got to check out some of the music too. I sent you just a couple links. I ain't really sent you music links, but I just sent you a couple links since you said you checked out a little bit of the music and went on
well,
YouTube. I be having playlists and stuff. Yeah.
there was a video that I guess the Heat is that what it was called?
Oh, that heat. Yeah,
That
yeah.
Heat. I saw your video and then I saw some other music, Not Enough Eyes on Me or something like that.
Yeah, that was my last album too that I came out with, and about to drop another album on the way. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Hey,
So
is it cool to smoke on here? I don't know if you be liking people smoking on your live or not. Just asking.
I don't care, dude. I'm not monetized. I don't do this for money. You know what I'm saying? So you could probably do whatever you want as long as you don't get me banned.
Appreciate it. I
I
ain't going
can't.
to the strip club tonight, so I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. You can smoke. I don't care. So like acting. Have you done what type of acting have you done?
Acting, a lot of my stuff has been more like straight to YouTube stuff. It's been a lot of acting I've done like that, and just working with local like directors and stuff like that, just independent directors.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I have.
one of the main
You have
people
to
I
send
work
me.
with. Oh my bad.
You have to send me a link to something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you my acting reels, most definitely. I'm definitely gonna have to send you my acting reels.
When this damn tripod keeps dropping. There we go.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, I
for
can't even
sure. I
see you
want to
on
check them out.
camera.
Do what now?
I said, I can't even see you on camera, bro.
I can't see you either.
That
So
is wild.
can you see yourself?
I can see myself, I just don't see you.
Yeah, I can see myself, but I can't see you either.
That is
So
wild.
I did a live a while back where there was a lady on here and I couldn't see her the whole time. And I thought she just had her camera off because she didn't want to be seen. And then as soon as the live closed out, she popped up and I was able to see her. So I don't know what that is. And maybe there's some way to turn our cameras on or something. I don't know.
Right. Okay. See. Okay. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to see if I could nah, all I got is rotate. That's funny though that you can't see me.
Man.
Because I was thinking I wasn't able to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
get to you, but it's all good though. I can hear you.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Well, you know what's funny? As soon as we close this out, it'll show both of us. That's what's crazy about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure to post it on my YouTube page too, just like, my live interview with you and everything, man.
Now I'm seeing something up here in the corner. I think oh no, wait a minute. Oh, that's something behind me. I'm tripping, bro. So are you from Kansas City? You're born and raised here?
Yes, sir. Born and raised. I be looking like I'm out of town and stuff with my videos and my shows and stuff, but majority of my shows been here. But this past year, I've been going more out of town to Lawrence and Topeka, and I actually got a show in Topeka next week at the Artismo. You know what I'm saying? So check that out when y'all
Okay.
get a chance. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Topeka peoples out there, man. Been growing a nice little audience out there.
How long you been making music?
About over 10 years, give or take.
Okay. All right.
I used to
I've
be in the
noticed
yeah.
ever since this digital age started, man, it's so oversaturated, bro. It didn't used to be that way before the internet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it so hard is because you got a million other people, trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's why there's only the selected few, man, the ones that really put in that work and grind and stuff like that. Like being in
Right.
the game for like 10 years, a lot of rappers, like especially like rappers I really like a big fan of and stuff like that. There's some that's still doing it and doing big things and stuff, and then there's some people that just they just quit and then life caught up to them, and it happens with everybody when they take a break and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But right now, I'm full mode. I'm full go. You know what I'm saying? I'm
I
in my
got to a
lane.
point where I was trying to put too much money in it, man, and it got to a point where you couldn't fund it. I just got to the point where I couldn't afford to pay for my beats in my studio. You know what I mean? So eventually, I ended up just getting my own equipment because I was like, instead of just dropping all this money in the studio, I'm gonna just invest in myself, and then I won't have to worry about it.
Hell yeah. And that's the best way of doing it too. Like me, I used to have right here, this used to be my in-house studio and stuff. I had my own in-house studio during the pandemic. I had like everybody coming over my crib recording and stuff like that. Like I've had Brandocious, YGKC, Scario Andretti. Like there's a lot of people from the local town and stuff like that. And I was recording a lot of my
Yeah,
music in here actually for a while.
man, Brandocious is so dope, bro. Like his voice, I've never ever heard a
That's
voice
my
like
brother, man.
his.
He got
Like,
a show tonight. Actually, I'm gonna try to pull up to that bug tonight, man. Shout out to Baradocious. We got music. We got music right now, but we got some more
okay.
music on the way, definitely.
Honestly, I never hollered at him because I didn't think I could. I was like, man, he probably charges. He's so talented. I was like, he's out of my price range. I'm not even gonna try to reach out. you know, because he is, bro. There's no reason why that dude shouldn't be nationwide right now.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That man's been putting in work for longer than me. Definitely, he's definitely doing songs with like Tech Nine and Fat Joe and like so many other artists that's well known and mainstream out here. He been putting that work. So yeah, free features that definitely not on the menu from him anymore. the price the prices are a little steep, but you know what I'm saying. That's my brother though, man. We always make great music together. So you'll hear that 3 for 3 definitely soon. We got a couple joints. Zoom right now is what's been popping in Kansas City a lot more lately and stuff. So I've been playing
Right.
that at a lot more events and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you start making music? Is your family like come from a musical background, or did you just wake up one day, did you see a video? Like, what inspired that?
Man, honestly, like a lot of my friends was rapping at first, so I just wanted to rap too. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I got into it. And then, being influenced by some of my favorite rappers like Rick Ross and Juicy
Okay.
J and, Drake, Biggie, Pac, I said Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, you feel me? Like just
Yeah.
watching them and watching their visuals and stuff like that. That's what kind of got me on like wanting to do it more and stuff like that. And I just took it more serious when I know I started investing more of my money going in the studios, doing my thing. Like shout out Studio B. That's where I first started going to the studio at first. And now I
Okay.
record at mid range. I just left the studio today. We just finished up my next album.
Okay. When's that coming out?
I plan on having it coming out in June. It's
Uh-huh.
it's called Ladies Love Slicky C. It got some of the joints I got that I've been dropping this year so far, like Star Power. I got to be in the booth with DJ Rocky Montana for that, man. That shit was dope. Shout out Rocky Montana out here. That
You
shit was
definitely
pretty
got a
cool.
commercial sound, man. You could definitely go somewhere with that for sure.
Hell yeah, I went, that's what I kind of been working on this past year. Like, one of my goals is to like get my music played on the radio station, and not just get played one time and that's it, but get played consistently. So I'm still working on that. I'm still working on that song. I'm still working on that hit. You know what I'm saying? That's what drives
Right.
me.
So the thing about me is I'm like a purist, right? Like a hip hop purist. One thing I like about your music is it's not all like sliding and gliding and you have substance. When I'm listening to you, you're talking about something.
Man,
You know? And
thank you.
you're coming
Hey,
you're coming from
I
the heart,
appreciate
bro.
that
You're
more
just
than anything too. I appreciate that a lot because you hear the music out here and stuff like that. A lot of it at the beginning, the last couple of years was about sliding and stuff like that. And there's joints like that that's cool and stuff like that. But you get kind of tired of hearing about sliding on somebody. And sometimes I just be thinking like. You just want to hang out with a whole bunch of men all day and stuff like that with no chicks, and that should be seeming a little gay. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, no disrespect, but it's just like I know you get tired of hanging out with men all day, sliding on other men. You feel what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this
I just think
album is about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not about sliding unless I'm sliding on a chick to see what's cracking. You know what I'm saying? Like this. This album is more, you know, catered to women. Like I'm still doing my thing. You still got that cool, positive vibes. It still got that nice club sounds, even a different sound with what I'm doing and how I'm harmonizing and stuff like that. So I just want to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, some people like when it comes to albums, they wanted to make it better than their last album. And honestly, my last album, Not Enough Eyes on Me, I don't think I'll ever make an album harder than that because the time I was living in at that time. Because I was living
Yeah.
in, I was out there. Yeah, I was out there, you know, and
How
this one's
many
different.
albums?
This is me just want to be more free, you know, and just want to just drop some good music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
get this shit off the shelf, you know what I'm saying? Get it
I
off the
like that
shelf.
music
Let's get
from the
it
heart,
played.
man. I
Hmm.
like that music from the heart, and I think that's what you got. Like I was really because most of the time, everybody's doing that because that's what's selling. So what you got is you got a bunch of artists that are just copycatting each other. Like tomorrow,
Hmm.
if something else popped off, all this sliding and gliding would stop, and they would start talking about whatever's popping off over here. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
trend, bro. It's a trend.
Yeah,
How
I mean, don't get me
many?
wrong, beef sells and stuff. Like
Yeah,
I've seen people in Kansas City that be beefing, and I'm just glad it never escalates. It's just hip hop. I like that shit, and I like there was a cool outcome. Who you think won and stuff like that. That's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's more safer than the Drake and Kendrick beef. Because yeah, even though it's going back and forth with the music and stuff like that, you know, some people got hurt. You know, behind the scenes
yeah,
and stuff like that. And I'm just glad the last couple beefs I've seen in KC where it's not really beef, it's more to me like competitiveness. Because beef is when you slide on somebody. Beef is when it's on site. You know, beef is hatred. And my music's the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's what I was pointing out, man. Like I like that. It was like a breath of fresh air. How many albums have you made? Like how many? You say you've been doing it for 10 years.
Albums?
Yeah, like how many
Yeah,
projects have you dropped?
yeah. I've dropped about it, including EPs, you know what I'm saying? I done dropped
Yeah.
about like 6, 7 albums
Okay.
or so, you know what I'm saying? Like I
I'm gonna
started
have to
off
dig
with
deeper into your music for sure.
yeah, hell yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I don't know if you heard Star Power or not, but you know, I'm spitting on that motherfucker, but I'm also, you know, that's a song catering to women that's in, you know what I'm saying? I'm with my girl, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what y'all think, she with me, you know what I'm saying? Just catering to her, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the star I see, you know what I'm saying? When I look into the
Right.
sky, I see my woman, I see my queen, and she look up to me and she see her king, you feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool. That Heat, man, I really enjoyed that one. That one was really cool.
Oh, that heat, yeah, that bug, the story behind that, you know, shout out to my boy 2000 Watts. That's my brother right there. That's my cameraman and now my videographer too on the road. Bro, we shot that while I was on tour and we was touring through Columbia, Missouri. And you know, shout out to my boy Scario Andre who put me on with J-Rod to get on the tour with him and stuff. I caught it at the near the end of the tour and stuff like that. So I got on 2 shows and stuff because one was here in KC and another one was out there out in Columbia. So before the show started, we had time to go through the college campus. That's why you see me over there by University of Columbia and shit. And that's where we shot the video.
Yeah. That one was really cool.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
I know
The the
Scario, man. I ain't
the
seen him in
the
a
show
minute,
scenes were
man.
from the performance later on that night. So I just blended in the show performance with the college campus. You know what I'm saying? I kept it pretty simple, promoting my hoodie and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's awesome, man. Who was your musical influences? Like growing up? What kind of music do you listen to?
It was all East and West Coast for the most part. Like really, like I used to roll with my homeboys, and like you know, their dad pick us up and stuff like that whenever we went out and stuff. So I was always just listening to whatever they were listening to, and
Yeah.
all of my friends' dads really listened to and stuff like that. You know, the OGs, all they were bumping was Pac, Big, Too Short, Scarface. You know what I'm saying? They were bumping a lot of that. So that's what kind of influenced me, like when I listened to music and stuff. And then like as I grew up more and stuff like that, like teenage wise, you know, that's why I started liking more different music like 3 6 Mafia, Missy
Yeah.
Elliott, Busta Rhymes, Nelly. You know what I'm saying? Nelly
Man,
always to me
the
always been
'90s
dope.
was the best era in hip hop, man. I really don't care what people say.
You know
Like
what I'm
that,
saying?
you just don't hear shit like that '90s music no more. Just
Not
don't.
for real. It's like the people we listen to in the 90s that still make music. It still sounds good to me because I like that they just make the music just to make the music. They're doing it independently. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like people
yeah, for
people
sure.
talk about Drake and stuff. Like Drake's not independent whatsoever. But the fact that he dropped this album with Party Next Door, the fact that he dropped that without UMG's help, you know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
didn't really put no promo behind it outside of you seen him in person. Because I heard they were paying for people's dinners and stuff, like just locally and stuff like that, and like out in the cities and stuff. They were just doing stuff like that for couples and women, just doing little promotions like that you don't really see. You just hear about because of word of mouth. And then, the fact that it's fucking Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
does he really have to promote like that? You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it's number one on everything like that, like, that's fucking dope. Don't always
yeah.
need
It
a label.
is. I really
Independently,
enjoyed
like,
watching him and Kendrick.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Kendrick
That
won
shit
that,
was fun.
you know what I'm saying? But
Bro, when he did that shit at the Super Bowl, it was a wrap. I said, this dude just dissed him at the Super Bowl, dog.
I
Like,
mean, me
it's
personally,
done.
I thought that halftime show was pretty good and everything like that. But I didn't put it like a top 10 or nothing like that. But I do like appreciate the message and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, Gen X is dope and too, and I don't know,
Yeah.
like me,
All right, so
Kendrick, like I've been like here and there with his albums. Like to me, he got an album like every other album to me. I felt like was dope. Like Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn. Like those are my favorite albums from him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And the other albums he do, I get the message, I get all that and all that stuff, but that's not something I want to hear all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of cuts the replay value of me personally. But I fuck with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But no, yeah,
definitely.
yeah, give me a hug is getting bumped in my car though more often. That's all I'm saying.
So so hey man, we talk about the Super Bowl. What is your favorite Super Bowl performance of all time? Like of all the Super Bowls you watched, what's your favorite performance? Who mine was Michael Jackson, man. I really liked it when Michael came out there and did We Are the World and had the smoke coming up. That's probably my favorite
Mhm.
one. Which one was yours?
Man, there's a lot of them I like, but I ain't gonna lie, it is kind of more recent now because that mug was like that's some of my favorite artists growing up and listen to. I gotta say the Super Bowl performance with Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50
Yeah.
Cent, Snoop Dogg, and Mary J. Blige. That's probably like that's up there with me for like my favorite Super Bowl performance. I also love the Weeknd's performance too. I thought that mug was pretty lit as well, and Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake's, I thought his was pretty dope with Janet Jackson, even without the titty show and all this. Even without, like, even before that titty show stuff, before that all happened, overall, that performance was off the chains. Because that literally happened at the end of the performance. Gonna have you naked by the end of this song. Titty!
I like Justin, man. I think
Man,
Justin's so
he is
talented,
too
bro.
dope. Too dope. He is
Yeah,
too
man. I can't say nothing
dope.
bad about
You know he
Justin,
from
man.
the South. You know
Yeah.
he from the South.
I was never with that boy band shit, but I always
And
like
think
respected Justin. I always thought he was so when he went solo, it was no surprise. He was definitely the best one there.
Yeah. He definitely outshined the group and stuff like that. But I fucked with the pop music back then too because I watched TRL and MTV and stuff and NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. They were dominating the charts.
Yeah. See, I'm old as shit, bro. I grew up with damn New Kids on the Block and way back then. Another Bad
Vanilla Ice.
Creation. You remember Another Bad Creation? The little kids on the playground.
Nah,
They
I
had that
probably know
song.
if I heard the song. I probably
Man, it
know
was
if I
the
heard the song
early
though. Real
'90s.
talk.
Early '90s. Another ABC. When Boys to Men was like Boys to Men, ABC. Like
Oh
that's what he's
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about. Another
yeah,
Bad.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know why I thought you
Yeah,
said
man.
someone. I thought you said something else. You said Boys to Men.
No, Boys to Men on that song Motown Philly where they were like BBD, ABC, BBD. When they were talking about Belle Biv DeVoe and Another Bad Creation, they were that was Another Bad Creation that they referenced.
Knowledge, dropping them
Yeah.
gems. That's how I know you. Yeah, you definitely you know your shit. You know
I'm
your tick.
old, man. I'm old, bro.
Bro, I'm
I
old too,
remember when
but yeah, I
Crisscross
didn't know
jumped.
that.
Well, I'm 45, dog. Like I'll be 46 in November.
Okay, that's what's up. Man, yeah, I'll be 40 this September. That's when I'm gonna drop my EP. I already got that set in stone. I usually try to drop an EP every birthday and stuff. Last time I dropped the EP, it was Find Me on the Cloud, and that was with my boy GRY, you know what I'm saying? Free GRY wherever he at, man. He a foreign nigga, and yeah, he just found me on SoundCloud a long time ago, and that's when we just started collabing on stuff. And one of my most viewed music videos was Goody Good, and he made the beat and everything like that.
Is that on your YouTube?
hmm Yeah, I got a
Okay.
playlist for music videos, and it got all my music videos on there.
All right, I'll have to check that one out too.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up, man. So I get to a point where I lose my passion. Like every now and then I'll get like writer's block, or I'll get depressed for a couple months and I won't write and I won't. But then it always comes back with a fury. Like, do you have that problem? Have you ever had a point where you just had to like take a break because you get like writer's block, or like you deal with depression or anything like that that affects your writing or your music?
Life be lifing, but for the most part, I usually I usually might have a little writer's block after I put my all into an album. It might take me a
Yeah,
couple weeks, take me a couple of months to finally, or usually I just hear the right beat, or I'm just around the right people sometimes too, and I'll start writing then too, or stuff like that. I might freestyle a little something, but
right.
yeah, for the most part, with me and writer's block, like me currently right now, like I just finished the album, and I haven't really wrote anything in the last couple of weeks because I've just been dialing in marketing because I'm doing my own marketing. You know what I'm saying? What artists don't
Yeah,
understand, don't know, man. Being on lives like this with you, you know what I'm saying? Which I appreciate. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's PR right there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
just want to let the
And see,
artists
I
know
always
that,
try to
when
help
they
out,
watching
man,
this. Mm-hmm.
because I was one of those artists that was like struggling trying to get people to know me. I still am. And then you always get those people with their nose up in the air and they're like, well, you don't have enough followers, or you got to pay me for this interview and stuff like that. And I used to hate that, bro. And so I don't never want to be that person. I'm just like, hey, man, come on. Like, my platform's your platform. I like to share, because I'm about the community, man. And like I do the journalism and stuff. So anybody who wants a voice, I try to give it to them.
Hell yeah, and I'm gonna make sure I send people your way too. I'm gonna send artists your way too. And when it comes to stuff like that, paying for interviews or paying to be on people's platforms, I don't have a problem with that. To be honest with you, it just depends
Yeah,
on what type of platform you're doing and what's your budget for the most part. Like getting in the booth with Rocky Montana, that wasn't cheap or anything like that.
right.
But I wanted to make sure I talk when I do stuff like that, when I'm spending money like that, or investing in something like that, I want to make sure I talk to the man first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We ain't gonna be through DMs. We in the same town. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. I've been knowing him for years on and off, just in the scenes, but it was just cool to chop it up with him. How much of a real cool dude he is, and a lot of the I don't know if you heard the link events with DJ Street King, and he'll have all the well known DJs and stuff.
oh,
People from
the
Power
link up or
105.
whatever it's called. It's called the link
Yeah, the link up.
up.
Yeah. I've been going to those ever since it started last year, and I've really learned a lot doing those things. And those things, they're not cheap. So
Right.
you learn a lot of things outside of just networking. Like one of the reasons why my personal page, my Dose of T.H.A. page, why it's grown so much is because what I learned at the link events. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
game is sold, not told. But me, I'm the type that like to drop knowledge, man. Cause so when you run into somebody and you say what's up to them, just ask them real quick. Can I see your Facebook? Type in your page, add them, go through the friends list, send that ad, and then you lit. No
Yeah.
matter if they have 22 friends, thousands of friends, they're gonna peep you out just because they sent it. And that's really how you can help grow your page in the community, and also help market yourself and what you're doing and stuff like that. Because I respect what you're doing out here. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, bro. See,
Hell yeah.
I grew up watching like unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. So I've always had curiosity, like America's Most Wanted. I've always been into like mysteries and journalism, and so it was natural for me, man. I did music for so many years, and then finally I just like was like trying to branch off into something. I still do music, but it was kind of a new passion that hit me, and I just went full force into it. And but that's where the
Hell yeah.
inspiration comes from and stuff like that, you know. So I appreciate it. And I was like, nobody's really covering the Kansas City history like that. You know, like you'll have podcasts where they're sitting in there talking, but I actually go out to the locations, you know, and the way I do it is different from how everybody else does it, you know,
Yeah,
rather
you
than
want people
just
in the town to
talking.
experience it outside of a
Right,
booth.
right. So I'm actually showing you the location rather than just sitting on a live talking about it. Like, you know, so it brings you in and brings you closer to it.
Hell yeah. See, that's kind of like what I do in my vlogs, actually. When you see me out in the town doing my thing, I don't know if I sent you that link when I was in the strip club, but they just played my song in the strip club recently, you know what I'm saying? And it
That's
was
what's up.
going, it was going crazy in there. And I was just like, wow.
So what made you want to act? What brought the acting on? Like
Real
what
yeah.
inspired that?
Well, honestly, I was already a technical theater major when I went to school. And I wasn't really into acting then. I had stage fright, but when I started doing my music and stuff like that, and when I was on the Neanderthal podcast, you know, shout out to my boy Ryan, I did the camera work, so I knew all the guests that was coming in. I was always linking with them and networking with them and stuff, and that's how I met my homeboy Jackie Terry. He's a Kansas City People's Choice Award nominee last year for Best Videographer. To the one that
Okay.
mug, but shout out to all the winners. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally.
Yeah. Have you went to one
So
of the, I've never went to one of those. Are those pretty
it'll be
live?
my
Like,
first time going this year. It'll be my first time.
okay. I'm wondering what that experience is like how much they really put into that, if it really is
I can
a,
tell
you know.
I can tell they invested in a good amount of money. They always have good hosts. I know all the people that most of the people that go down there. So it'd just be a cool experience just to go down there and just network with people and just be around your peers. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
whether I get nominated or not, I'm gonna go out there and show out regardless. And I've been asking people to vote for me. I feel like my vote's been doubled from a year ago. So I hope you vote for your boy T.H.A, y'all. Yeah, yeah. I approved
I'm
that
glad
note.
you hit me up, bro, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check out more of your stuff. For some reason, you were not on my radar, man. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm definitely into you now, man. I'm gonna check out some more stuff, and like you're talented, bro. Like I expect to see you going somewhere.
Oh,
Honestly,
thank you, thank you. And honestly, that's
for
how
real.
how I do it. Honestly, when I get out and stuff, that's how you gotta get outside and just network and stuff like that. Cause I just seen your stuff on the feed. I don't know if someone
Yeah,
tagged you in something, and that's how I was like, oh, let me see what he's talking about, and here we
bro.
are.
I spam everything. Every day I share one journal video every day. And I got like 50 groups that I share it to.
Oh
And
yeah,
I highlight the highlight, I highlight my followers. So my shit just goes like in 2 to 5,000 K, like, you know what I mean?
hell yeah. Well,
So yeah, you
they check
probably
this
just
out.
saw me in a group or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, bro. So what are you charging for features, man? You charging for features? You working with anybody? What's going on with that?
Man, with me right now, it's just like, man, you take care of the studio time, I'm there.
Okay, that's what's up.
Depending on
Oh,
the song and stuff, I'm there. I work with people for real. I ain't charging people on the bass price. I ain't got no management or nothing like that. I'm independent, so if I like the song and it's something we could both win, especially when it comes to the splits. Let's work. That's how it really
so
is
was
for
that
me.
you? Was that you singing on your songs, man? Do you sing too?
Yeah, I be harmonizing. I'm not singing on
Okay, I
all the
thought you
songs,
did.
but
You see, okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought I remembered seeing you singing too, and I meant to ask you about that as well. So
oh yeah,
that's
yeah. I be
awesome.
doing a little bit of that too. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I switched up on my sound and stuff, a little bit more harmonizing and yeah, just to switch it up a little bit, see how it sounds. And when I was playing it to people in the studio and stuff, shit, there was times when my boy Da he engineers a lot of my music. He engineered the whole album for the most part, and excuse me, I remember when I first started recording it because some of these songs I had on shelf for years, but some of the songs I started dropping is I see why, but I just remember some of the songs I started recording, like Slow Motion and Trick and Charlie. That song ain't out yet, but it's coming soon. But I remember I got done recording those songs. I remember we just started calling people in the other booths, like, hey, y'all got to hear this song real quick. And they were just in there like, hey, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
Studio E, the one that runs the whole mid-range,
Mid-range.
music
That's
studio
where
and
I
stuff.
recorded my
Yeah.
albums at.
Mm-hmm.
That's my boy, man.
That's
Shout out
that's
to
the
E.
homie. Yeah, he even told me straight up after he heard those songs. He was like, "Man, you might found your own lane on this one." You know what I'm saying? Make a couple
And
more of those songs, see where it go. Yeah,
coming from him, that means a lot, bro, because he's recorded every fucking artist in Kansas City.
true, including Sleazy. He been recording with him for a
Yeah.
while too. So
I did 3 albums with E. We did my brother's album, and then I did 2 of my own. So, yeah, Mid-Range was the home, man.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
That's awesome.
where I've been going. Like my boy Da, he started off as an intern, and now he's one of the engineers in there.
Okay. I ain't been down there in a couple years, so I don't really know. They probably do got some new people in there.
Oh yeah,
They had people in there
they got
making
a couple of new
beats
people in there.
last time I was there.
Yep,
Like people rented
they
out the
still
side
do.
or whatever.
Yep, they still do.
Okay.
They still got some beat makers in there. I'm trying to think. One of them right now, D White, he be in and out of there too and stuff. I haven't seen him in there lately. He got his own thing going on too. He trying to put artists on, getting people out and stuff like that. Make sure y'all tap in with him on that. Fill that
Have
application.
you ever made beats? You make beats?
Nah, I don't be doing none of that. I leave
I
that to the
just
professionals.
recently started playing with it. Like about a month ago, I finally started playing with beats, man. But I've never made them either. I've always just focused on my lyrics and my songs.
Yeah. Cause me, I ain't gonna lie, real talk. I never considered myself like talented like that, but I just always knew I was always hard working with it. You know what I'm saying? And just keep on working
Right.
on my verses, and you know, and working with other people who I thought was always more talented. That always helped me. You know what I'm saying? Encouraged me to continue to do my thing too. On top
Yeah.
of the people always showing love and shit. You feel me?
It's addicting, man. I didn't think so either, and I started playing with it, and I couldn't leave it alone. Like it's like, it's addicting. It
Hell yeah.
really is.
Especially when you tour. When you tour, it's like it's so cool. That's why I've been doing more stuff out of town and stuff just to build my audience, you know. Like one of the Link events I went to was a pop artist and a singer, and she wasn't getting no noise out here in KC like that because it's not really an R&B scene in Kansas City like that unless you're really into
Uh-huh.
like jazz or country. Like you gotta be downtown in those type of areas if you're gonna be in that type of style of music and stuff. So
Right.
he ended up going out of town, started doing some shows out in St. Louis. Long story short, someone that was like well known, like an exec and stuff like that, seen her and put her on tour overseas, and she's been doing her thing since.
That's what's up. So you travel around, you go from state to state, and you're out hitting the pavement, huh?
Yeah, like earlier, a couple years back, I was touring with Beat the Competition. You know, shout out to Beat the Competition TV. They were doing a lot of stuff with artists and local artists where we traveled. We did shows and we also did things for the community and everything too. And
Okay.
that's that's where I really got my thing going on, like when it came to touring and stuff. And like one of my favorite towns we went to was Iowa City, Iowa, and all that stuff. And it's like we performed at this place called Gabe's Iowa City, and
Uh-huh.
that motherfucker was stupid packed. And like we did our thing, and our shows were not something that happened all night. It's something that starts early in the evening, ends at night, like no later than like 10 o'clock or so. You feel me? And that gives people more time to still go out and get into something else. You know what I'm saying? While they enjoy the
Right.
beginning of their night with a vibe, and also helping people because a lot of the T-shirts and merch we sold, that went to local communities and stuff. So I just remember we went out and kicked it afterwards. So we're gonna be in Iowa for a couple of days anyway, and it's like, man, that college town out there, man. We went to one of
Yeah.
those college like spots, like bars and clubs and stuff, and they all recognized us, man. They had us feeling like rock stars and shit. Like that's how I grew a lot of my followers on Spotify, just touring for real, for real.
Man, them college towns is it, man. Like a lot of artists talk about the college towns. They do very well there. You know, the kids are really into the music, and that you really get a lot of support. in the college communities. So yeah,
Straight up.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, Iowa City. I like what we did out there in Denver. We did a lot of cool charities out there. We went out to Springfield. We've been to a lot of spots. We was out in Tennessee. Bro, you'd be surprised, man, about Tennessee, like downtown and shit. You,
Uh
you would think you were in Kansas City.
huh.
Like, no shit, bro. Some of the
I've been to
buildings might be a
Denver,
little bit
bro, and
bigger, but it's
it
just
fucked
about
me
the
up in
same.
Denver because I'm downtown Denver and I'm looking around and you're standing in downtown Denver in the middle of the hood, bro, and you look up and there's mountains all the
Yeah.
way around you.
Yeah.
And it's weird, and then it don't start feeling so gutter anymore because then you start seeing these beautiful mountains. It
For
was weird
real.
to me, man.
It's
I'd never seen
like I said, just
that.
different scenery, man, when you leave the town.
Yeah, yeah, Colorado's beautiful. I went out there. I went to move out there, and then I got out there, and I quickly realized that I wasn't going to be able to live too long out there. Like the cheapest studio apartment I found was like $1,300 a month, and I was like, and that's a
Damn.
studio, like a box. And I'm just like, I didn't know. I'm going back to Kansas City, paying $600. You know?
Yeah, it ain't cheap out there, man. Same with Texas too and stuff like that. But the pay range is a little bit more different out there too. It just depends
Yeah,
on what city you go into. But Kansas City is usually one of the best places, like definitely top, 15, 20s in the states, in this, country in general.
yeah. It's a beautiful city out here. We got a lot of big things out here, landmarks and different things, and a lot of history. I love it here, man. I lived in Baltimore for 7 years, and I love Baltimore as well.
I
But
know that was cold.
Kansas City's where I was born and raised. You know,
Yeah, I know it's cold down there.
it's cold as shit. We had a blizzard, like a man, what was that called? The first year I was out there, like 30 inches of snow, bro. Like, I mean, we were literally snowed in the house. Like, you couldn't even open the door. Like, the whole house was covered in snow. It was crazy.
Damn.
And it's near the water, so it gets so cold. You know.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, Denver to me, like when we was out there, we was out in the mountains, hiking and shit. But we
Yeah.
also did some music out there too, and that was pretty dope. Like that's one of my favorite collabs I ever did because it was like 7 of us on the track, and the shit just sounds so perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that song
Yeah.
almost didn't happen at first, just because me and my homie on there, we just wanted to bar hop at first. But I was like, man, I ain't trying to go get on no more tracks, but. My people talk to me like, bro, you've been talking about collabs for a while now. Now you got like 6 different artists that want to collab with you, bro. I'm gonna send you the Addy, dog. Just put in a little something on the studio time. And then we came out with a dope song where I'm still collecting royalties off of it.
You had 7 people on one song?
1 a.m. in Denver. That's what the song
Wow,
is
bro.
called. We recorded that song at around 1 a.m. Real shit.
Yeah, man. I
Shout out
love
to everybody
Colorado.
on
It
there.
was beautiful. It was beautiful out there.
Yeah, I like it out there.
I've never really traveled. Like I said, I went to Baltimore and Colorado, but that's it. I haven't really traveled too much. Like so I haven't, especially leaving the country. I've never left the country. I've traveled around the country a little bit, but
That's the
have
next
you ever left the
move.
country? What was your favorite place? Have you ever been outside the country?
No, that's the next move. I want to do that going into my 40s. Start traveling the world. I always wanted to go somewhere like Italy because I love Italian food, and
Yeah.
I always wanted to go somewhere out there. And other places, I just feel like I gotta look into some more things before I think about going out there. But I think one of the first places I'd like to go is somewhere like a Italy, Canada. I don't know, somewhere tropical maybe.
Yeah, Canada is pretty cool.
I think Canada would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Drake is from Canada. It can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I have a love-hate relationship with
Melissa
Drake, man,
Ford.
because I
Like
want
I
to I
said,
want to
Melissa
hate on him
Ford,
so
she's
bad,
from
but then
Canada.
I listen to him and I'm like, damn, and like you ain't got no choice but to give him his respect. But at the same time, I don't want to like him. You know what I mean?
Man, you remember that term they used to have, don't Drake and drive?
Right.
That's when Drake was really in his bag back then.
Yeah, I remember the first time that Forever was the first time I ever heard Drake, and that song was so dope.
First song I heard from Drake was with him and Trey Songz, Success. I just
Yeah,
want
okay.
to be successful. Yeah, that was my shit. I like a lot of R&B, by the way, too. That's also what kind of helped me, get out of my comfort zone and like, do more singing and a little bit more harmonizing and shit. But
Right.
I grew up listening to like some of my peoples I like to listen to when I used to go be dating and yeah. I always listen to like Jagged Edge,
Jagged.
112, Brian Knight, R. Kelly, yeah, Pretty Ricky, yeah,
So
Charlie
we go back a little
Wilson.
bit. Jodeci was popping when I was
Jodeci,
like I
okay.
said, I'm
No.
old,
I
bro.
know a lot of people that listen to Jodeci. I listened to that when I was a lot younger, and I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking like that then. You know what I'm saying? When I met
Jodeci
with
and
older
Keith
women,
Sweat.
they did play that Jodeci, of course. You know what I'm saying? They played some Jodeci, some Mary
Yeah,
J. You know what I'm
I always
saying?
thought they was one of
I'm
the
trying to look
best
for it
ever,
now. Here we
man.
go.
Yeah, yeah. Jodeci was definitely popping, and you had Keith Sweat and what that group Silk.
Yep.
Damn, I'm old, bro.
Nah.
But that's what's up, man. Age is a blessing, right? Like when you get older and you age, that's a blessing to be able to live that long and be around that long and get that wisdom and experience in life. Because you see so many people dying in their teens now.
Shit. That's real because a lot of these artists are dying young and stuff. Like a lot of artists that's been interviewed by Black TV, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite like platforms to watch on YouTube. When watching like influencers, actors, creators, everybody and stuff like that. And he got like a list of people who either died from a overdose, from drugs basically, or they've been died in the streets and stuff. And the most
Right.
recent one was hearing about Mo3 and stuff. I didn't know him like that. We really hear his music like that, but I just knew a lot
Yeah.
of people I collab with like were big fans of Mo3 and like really showed love. Like you think he was from Kansas City at first, Mo3 would get a lot of love out there in the South and in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And seeing that going on and everything like that, that was wild. And now they think talking about who was it? I think they said I don't want to get the name wrong or nothing like that, but they were talking about someone that they've been beefing with for a while. Like he hired somebody and stuff allegedly.
Yellow Beezy.
Yeah,
Yellow
yeah,
Beezy. He apparently paid for the hit, man.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
But
allegedly.
if you're man, look, if
I'm
you're
just
this
saying.
successful,
I'm trying to look out for you, bro. We ain't trying to cut this live off. I feel like this is a very good. This is a very good conversation. It ain't really an. It's
hey,
not
you
just
know
an
what?
interview. It's a good
That's the
conversation.
news. That's the news, and there's evidence, and that's the story. So hey, that's what I do. I tell the news, and that's the news that he,
Hell yeah.
allegedly. You're right,
Allegedly.
allegedly. We'll say
Thank you.
allegedly. We'll
Yes.
we'll say allegedly, but yeah, okay.
Guilty
Yeah,
until
I fuck
proven
with Vlad,
innocent.
man.
So
I like the
allegedly.
Vlad interviews, bro. I think he's a great
Hmm.
journalist.
Definitely a pioneer when it comes to it, because he's the one that really, like how you were talking about how people will charge for interviews and stuff like that. He's one of the
Yeah,
people that kind of pioneered that way where, hey, I'll pay you to get on these platforms and stuff like that. And it might not be, it's like, it's money, a lot of money to us, but to them it's like not that much, but it's worth coming out there, especially if you have a good time with them and stuff. And that's why I wish more people from KC did. Like one thing with the Near Talk podcast, man. I love that show, man. I always love that. One of my favorite podcasts and stuff. Not just because I was behind the camera and stuff, but I just wish like a lot of the guests, like some people would share and repost and stuff like that. But a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on where they gotta keep on networking and all that stuff. So I just wish
yeah.
they would post a little bit more like, hey, be sure to check out me on the End of Talk podcast and stuff like
Now
that. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
it.
I always did a selfie after the show's over, tag everybody, and people repost and share that, but just what they share the episode more and stuff like that. Help grow the platform and grow the community. But he don't won multiple awards though. He don't won pitch awards, so he's an award winning
Yeah,
podcaster.
that's the KC podcast.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I saw when I was going through your videos, I did see a post with the Neanderthal podcast and you. So yeah, I'm familiar with it because I've seen it, but I've never watched it. I'm going to check it out.
Hell yeah. He hasn't done any podcasting lately. He's just been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Everything in life is good for him right now. You know what I mean? So a lot of
Yeah,
the originally how he started the podcast, he was going through stuff in his life, and you know he wanted to find some type of outlet, and that's kind of how he started the podcast at first. And then afterwards, he started putting people locally on there, and you know the rest is history. Because I was one of the people that got interviewed by him, and next thing you know, we had a good rapport right then and there, and he just asked if I wanted to be the cameraman. I was like, hell yeah. And it was
yeah,
something that looked out for both of our interests while we built a good friendship, you know?
yeah. That's what it's all about, man. Them relationships.
That's the homie. He done put me on like, all kinds of different spots and stuff, like West Bottoms Whiskey, locally owned and stuff. We ended up having the owner and stuff on there on the podcast a couple of times. And we did this one podcast interview with Chef Jay. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's a well-known
Uh-uh.
chef in Kansas City, and he was on one of the seasons of Hell's Kitchen. We didn't get to drop the episode because of some contract things that was going on with the reality series still, so he never got to drop it. But I had a vlog that I posted and everything like that while we was kicking it behind the scenes at West Bottoms Whiskey. Like I showed the tour and stuff, and bro, that was one of the most saucy moments I had, man, because those drinks were on the house on the Sunday. I swear, bro. We was lit. Yeah, man, shout out West Bottoms Whiskey. When I want to taste the best old fashioned in Kansas City, I go there. I don't ask for an old fashioned anywhere else. They make good old fashions. No disrespect to all the bartenders, especially my favorite bartenders. But the best old fashioned in Kansas City is at West Bottoms Whiskey. And they had to pay me to promote that, by the way.
That's what's up. Yeah,
Real
I'm
dope.
not much of a drinker, man. I used to drink a lot when I was younger. Now I just smoke. Like in my older age, I don't even smoke cigarettes. I smoke bud. That's all I really do. I don't really drink or do anything else.
Hell yeah. I'll be
But I
smoking.
will not give up the bud, man. Like
I got I
I
got
have.
some smoky tracks too. I got a music video you should check out called Paper Lotus. That was produced by my boy T.H.A. I was telling you about. That was on the Find Me on the Cloud EP actually too. But I got a music video for that. That's when I was out in I think that was fuck, what was it? I think that was out in Branson or something like that. But we ended up
Okay.
doing some Airbnb shit at some cool lodge place, and I just shot a video out there, and shit was lit, man. Everybody thought I had like all the weed in the world out there, and it's like, man, just how good the video was. It was like maybe a blunt and a half in real life. I made that
Right.
motherfucker stretch for the video.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. Like
Make
it's
it
a
till you
medicinal
make it.
herb. That's I tell everybody it's a medicinal herb, and it's a lot of studies have suggested that it can help cure and treat and make be used as
Man, it cures life.
medicinal purposes and talking about it can cure cancer possibly stuff like that,
Yep,
bro.
it cures life. That's what it does. And then they got THC creams and oils for that stuff, for joint pains and stuff like that. It
Yeah,
ain't
I
always
saw
gotta be
those.
something you inhale. It could be something you can rub or take a dose of, or even like edible wise too. Me, I'm not with the edibles like that, but the last time I did have some edibles, man, that shit was right. That was one of the best like drives during tour I've ever had because I like literally just slept. And I wasn't driving this time because usually how I started going on tour with Beat the Competition was I was the driver. And I
Right.
was still doing shows and stuff like that, but I was the driver. So, that made me, that brought a lot of good value outside of, my character and all that stuff, my experience and stuff like that because I was like one of the oldest on tour and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
My
brought a lot to
experiences
the
with
table.
edibles, it's either like I feel nothing or like it's too much. You know, either it floors me and makes me feel like I'm dying, or I feel nothing. Like it's extreme with edibles. So I don't really mess with them either because they're just too inconsistent for me.
Hey, bro, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just realized I turned the chat the comments back on. I didn't realize there was people in here and all that stuff. Man, what's up, Kyle? Hey, what's going
Yeah,
on,
there's
Malia?
a few
Damn, shout
people
out to
out
my
here.
people for stuff. Damn. He like, pass that blunt. I got you.
You know, it's funny. Kyle is. Oh shit! Where'd you go? Damn! Did he disconnect himself, bruh? Damn! Send me another request. Oh damn! Hold on, man. I'm trying to reconnect you, bro. Hold on. What the fuck? See, it's saying technical issues again. Uh, I'm trying to add you back, bro. What happened? Are you there?
Okay, there we go. I'm back. No, when I was clicking on the comment, I actually swiped up. That's my bad.
You just
I
disappeared. I said, what the hell?
looked at this dude and I was like, oh, fuck, my bad.
Yeah, man, Kyle. I've known Kyle. Kyle's one of my day ones, man. Me and him, we met as teenagers. So a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
people don't know that. Me and him go way back.
Kyle's one of the dopest content creators, man. That guy, man. His content be had me dying laughing. Like
He's always
he should have been on some sketch comedy like outside of KC by now to me. Cause I'm like, this dude is so fucking talented, dog. Like,
he's always been
yeah.
funny, bro. Always been
Yeah,
funny.
like I'm not trying to compare him to Funny Marco, but you know how Funny Marco he don't create content like that. He do a lot of stuff where it's live and he fucks with people and shit. But Kyle's the
Right.
opposite of that. I feel like his stuff is definitely beyond KC to me. His shit be having me dying laughing, bro. Like that's some shit
Yeah.
I've seen. Like I don't know, man, but like it's yeah, his shit is dope, man. Shout out to Kyle for real, for real.
I moved into these apartments in Liberty, and these three dudes came walking up to me, and I thought, like, you know, shit was about to go down, like, you know. And Kyle was one of them, and
Uh,
they were all like, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Yeah, I just moved in here, blah blah." And I had like a little karaoke machine with the mics and the tape decks. And that night, bro, we sat up all night. Like we kicked it that evening, and I introduced myself. And we got cool, and then that whole night, bro, we sat up and recorded all night. We made like little cassette tapes. We were dubbing tapes, and yeah,
Hell
me and
yeah.
him go way back, bro.
Way
Like,
back.
yeah,
Hell
we're
yeah.
talking about like 95, 96 here. So, so yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he's a good guy, man. I keep telling him I'm supposed to go on do an interview with him and go on his little show and shit, but
Bro,
we
you
haven't. I don't know, we haven't got
gotta
around
do
to
that.
doing that.
I need to tap back in with him too on that because I was on a couple of shows with him and stuff like that. It's been a while though. Cause I know they still be doing their stuff and everything like that, but I know they've been doing they've been doing other stuff. They've been branching out, you know?
Yeah,
So, they're not just doing podcast interviews and stuff like that. They big. They branching out. They building. So you know what I'm saying, to continue to build. So yeah, I definitely want to tap in with them again on that.
I need him to shoot a video for me, bro. His video skills are amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with the graphics, they be having like a green room or some shit like that too.
He cracked me up how he has this dude, like he'll be sitting there and then himself will walk in the room, and then another one of them will walk in the room, and pretty soon there's like 5 or 6 Kyles in the room.
Yeah, he be doing some cool special effects
And
shit
I'm
like
like, how the
that,
hell do
bro.
you do that, bro? Like, that is dope.
Yeah, he be
And they're
killing that
interacting
shit.
with each other. They're pushing each other and throwing shit at each other and knocking each other down. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, the magic of the camera, man. He be doing that shit, dog.
Yeah, he's dope with that shit. Have you ever shot any videos or anything? You say you do a little camera work?
Yeah, I done some camera work. Like I shot a lot of my own videos early at first. Like I shot my own videos for the most part while I was out in Las Vegas. Like I shot 3 videos out there a while back. And you know,
Okay.
if anybody would look up those songs, you know what I'm saying? You know, I did Entertainer out there where I was out there with them girls, them white chicks out on Broadway and shit like that. That shit was crazy on the Las Vegas strip. I shot something to that. Then I shot Wet Wet. You know, shout out to the models out there. That shit was dope. We buy boats in the ocean and shit because the song
I've
was
never been to
wet.
Vegas. I've always wanted to go to Vegas.
Hell yeah. And then we shot Entertainer out there. That's when I actually did my show out there. And then we was out later on just walking the Las Vegas Strip and shit. So, yeah, I was shooting my own shit out there. And I shot some shit. Yeah, I shot a couple of my own videos for the most part. But, yeah, I just leave it with my boy Watts now. And I keep it with my boy Jackie Terry.
That's
Keep it with
what's
the
up.
team.
Hell yeah, man. You say you got a project coming out? What's your plans, your upcoming stuff you got coming down the pipe?
Right now, I got a show next week out in Topeka at the Artismo. So make sure
All
y'all
right.
come out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Topeka. I got a show I'm trying to lock in Kansas City, so I'll be announcing that soon. That's gonna be a pretty big, a pretty big platform. And then I got some more shows out in Lawrence and Topeka. I'll be out at Elmo's. I think they just moved the date on that one to May 25th, I believe. And then I have
Okay.
another show May 29th.
I
And I'm still
noticed
getting
on your
details on
YouTube you
that.
got a lot of show footage. So
Yeah.
you definitely you're doing a lot of shows, man.
Throwback show days. That's my little platform I'll be doing
Okay.
when I'm out of town doing shows. You see a little bit behind the scenes. The newest one I just posted was when I opened up for a Big V from Nappy Roots.
Oh, I used to love Nappy Roots,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, it was dope meeting him and everything like that. Got to meet him backstage and shit. Hella cool dude.
Yeah, they were really cool, man. I used to have their album, the one with Jazzy Faye on it. I can't remember. It's been so long. But I
Yeah,
used to love them, man. I thought they were so dope.
yeah, they came out with that. Oh nah, hell nah, boy,
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
done up and done
Got
it.
it up and done it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
my
That's what it was.
bad. There we go.
So drop your socials and all your connects for everybody, your Facebook and Instagram and everything like that.
Oh, most definitely, man. Y'all can all catch me in one word, dose of T.H.A. That's DOSEOFTHA and 816. And you can just Google me on there or just on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Yeah, I'm all on there. And then music-wise, you can look me up at the Hassan Assassin. All my links are on my pages because I know it's a long name to write out and shit, but it's there. You know what I'm
So
saying?
here's my curiosity. How did you get the name Hassan the Assassin? How'd that come about?
Yeah, the
That's a cool name.
Assange. Oh, I appreciate that. The Assange Assassin. It was actually like my middle name. It was going through. My mom was going through a Muslim phase, so that's kind of
Okay.
how and that's also my middle name. But also, what it means, though, it also means strength, and it means royalty. So it's stuff.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's a positive meaning. So I just stuck with it.
That's what's up. Now are you Muslim?
Nah,
Okay. I
I'll be
studied it
killing
for a while. I started to
pepperoni,
get into it.
sausage.
I flirted
Yeah, I
with
do
it.
all that. I'll be killing
I
that one
flirted with
too.
it, man, but I realized that it just wasn't for me. Like I grew up, in Christianity and a Christian family and stuff, but you know what got me with that was I worked with a lot of Muslims, right? And these
Yeah,
guys were always happy, always full of joy, always the nicest dudes. And I was like, why are they so happy all the time? And I'm watching them, and that's what made me start getting into it. I'm like, man, there must be some real joy there. And I started studying, like I was like, what is it? There's something there, man. And it was intriguing to me because they were just so nice.
yeah,
I was like, these
yeah.
guys are just on a different plane, you know what I mean? But
Hell yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm a Christian, but I definitely respect the Muslims and Islam, and everybody has their own beliefs, and I'll never bash nobody else's religion, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. That kind of remind me of this one reality show I saw where they get married at a short term and stuff, knowing each other, and they didn't really talk about religion and their political beliefs and stuff, and that's the only reason they didn't get married.
Right.
Some religions ain't meant for everybody. But as long as
Yeah.
you have an understanding about it, it's good to at least try it out to see if you like it or not. But you
Yeah.
understand it.
I started studying it a little bit. Yeah. I just think it's cool, man. Like, I don't know. I used to see these guys at work. I guess I just worked with a certain group, man, and they were just the coolest dudes. And I was just like,
Hell
man,
yeah.
that's joy right there. Because you look around at everybody else, and they're pissed off, and they're depressed, and then you see these guys, and they're all at one table, and they're all eating together, and
Mhm.
working together, and talking together, and they're all smiling, and they're praying together. And I'm like, man, that is awesome right there. Like,
Yeah.
what does that feel like? That joy, like what is it that these guys see that I don't see? And so that's what made me look into it. Because I said I want to be happy like that. I want to feel joy like that. I want to be like that,
Hell yeah. Ain't nothing wrong
So
with that. Just kind of, if that's something you're interested in, and just kind of look that up and see what's going on with it.
yeah, that's for sure. Well, man, it's been good talking to you, bro. Shit, I'm gonna have to get off here. I gotta work in the morning, but uh that's what's up, bro. I wish you the best, man. I'm gonna continue to check you out, and I'll share this video to some of the music groups and stuff, so people, maybe some people will check you out and get on your page.
Hell yeah, sure. Appreciate that, and send me some links too. I'll try to join the group as well.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm in a whole bunch of just rap hip hop groups. KC group, KC supports their artists. KC's the town.
Yeah,
You're probably in some of these.
yeah, I'm in a couple
Yeah, like
of them.
yeah. So I'll definitely share this interview to all them, like I do the journal pages and stuff. So
Right on, appreciate that.
yeah, no problem, bro. Well, shit, maybe one day we'll hook up sometime in the future on some music or something.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Shoot, just let me know, man. I'll just be in the studio, and I'm gonna try to get
Now
in
you
there
live in
again soon. I
KC,
got the
right?
music.
You're local, like
Yeah,
you live in KC?
yeah.
Okay.
816.
All right, that's what's up. All right, well, shit, it's been good talking to you, man. I'm about to go put my son to bed and get my ass ready for the morning.
Hell yeah.
But you
Well,
have a good one, bro.
you too, man. Hey, shout out Mack Malone being on this live and everything like that. Be sure to check him out. Be sure to check me out. Dose of T.H.A. The Hassan Assassin. Underground royalty over everything, man. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.